Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or should I just say welcome to my channel, because it's been over 3 years since I last posted. I'm pretty sure most of y'all don't even remember that I even had a channel, so let's just start fresh. How is everybody doing? My name is Lilla and this is Everydays with Lilla. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I was just so excited to record today. I had this video in mind for the longest, so I did not even really plan out what I want to say. I know what I want to talk about, I know exactly what I want to talk about, but I don't really have my thoughts put together, so we're just gonna be winging it today. So y'all might get some Hungarian subtitles, but the video itself and the whole series is gonna be in English. Let's just get straight into it, because I have some tea to spill. This series is gonna be about me as an au pair when I first moved to America, and how my life been since, how that whole thing even started for me, how did I become an au pair, what made me want to be an au pair, and things like that. So we literally have to rewind the time. It's been almost 7.5 years since I moved from Hungary to the United States. Quite some shit have happened since. Just to start with the basics, because a lot of people don't know what an au pair is. An au pair is basically a live-in nanny from a foreign country. There's several agencies across the world who help boys and girls between the ages of 18 and 26 move to America within a exchange visitor program on a certain type of visa, with the main purpose of cultural exchange. Now what it means is that you're working as a slave for up to 45 hours a week, taking care of a random family's kid or kids. You don't really get to pick where in the States you want to be at. The way it works is you sign up with an agency, you create your profile. Once your profile is created, it also has several requirements. Like, yeah, this is gonna be a long ass series because I just have like so much to say. Basically, once your profile is up on the website, you get to start swiping on families left and right. It's basically like a dating app for nannies and families. So once you match with a family, you get to see their profile, and then you get to decide if you want to move forward and have an interview with them or not. A little bit about my experience up until this point, because this is the very first part of the whole shit show, right? I was 18 in 2016 when I finished high school. Do the math. There's this education fair, I would say, in Hungary, where high schoolers get to go and they can find higher education institutions. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I did not know what I want to do education and career wise, so I went to this fair. I did find a couple of schools. I ended up applying to one of them to become a sports manager. All that because I was really into fitness and sports at the time. I still am, but like I was really into that shit at the time. So I'm like, okay, let's be a sports manager. Sure, why not? But on top of the higher education institutions, I also found this agency, which I'm not gonna name, which was basically an au pair agency. I've heard about au pairs and this agency actually a couple months before this, but I was like, it's probably a scam. Like, is there not any babysitters in America? But now we know the catch is because nanny rates and au pair rates are highly different. There was a big wave of wearing everything with the US flag at the time. I had mad clothes, mad everything with the US flag on it. So I'm like, yes, like that's what I want to do after high school. This is a program that would have allowed me a year in the US. So we sit down with my mom. I think at first I told them, I'm like, I want to move to America and be a nanny for a year. And she was like, no way. If you want to be a nanny, you can go to Italy, you can go to Spain, you can go to France, you can go to Denmark, you can go to the Netherlands, you can go anywhere. But why would you go to the States to babysit kids? And I was like, Mom, you know that's not the point. My parents knew damn well that since I was 12 years old, I wanted to move to America. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So basically, to become an au pair, it requires a lot of shit. First of all, you need to have a license. A lot of families don't even let you drive. They don't even let you use the car. They don't let you drive with the kids in the car. So it's like, you know, but you need to have a license in case you need to drive the kids around to after school activities, this, that, and third. You also need to have 3,000 hours of childcare experience. You cannot be a smoker, you can't be married, you can't have kids of your own, and so on and so on and so on. Fast forward a little bit, I ended up convincing my parents, and my mom had one ultimatum. She said, you can be an au pair in America for 1 year, as long as you get accepted to one of the best universities where you want to go in Hungary, and as long as you find a family before September, so you can defer a year at school and start the next year. So I would have started 2017 September, right, instead of 2016 September. So I'm like, say that, deal. There was only a couple little difficulties in this, right? So we are in January, February of 2016. Ideally, you would need a good 3-4 months to find a family. Obviously, you need to match with multiple in order to find the best match, and I did not have a license yet. We actually knew the person who runs the driving school, and I got my license by, I believe, May of 2016. So that was perfect. And then my profile was still not up on the website, so I'm like, what is going on exactly? I called the company, all they wanted was the money. Hey, you need to pay, you need to pay for the flight, you need to pay for this, that, and third. So I'm like, okay, bad, but why is my profile not visible online? Of course, once you pay the fees, the agency don't care about you no more. Now you have to try calling them, reaching out to them, cussing them out, talking about like, hey, what's up with my visa? How is my flight going? What day I'm flying? When is the training? This, that, and third, right? Like at this point, we are in August, and I'm like, I have 1 month to find a family by September. I can defer a year and then, you know, come back and do school. Otherwise, my mom not gonna let me go. After we pay, after we do everything, you know, visa, whole lot of shit, they're like, oh, the reason why you don't have your profile up and running is because you don't have the 3,000 hours of childcare experience. I'm like, what you mean? I do have. And y'all have it documented, you have it written down. You made me like do all this shit. You had the whole back and forth with me. We'd be on the phone almost every day. What you mean? She was like, okay, let me look into it. And she checks, she says, oh, my bad, I put 300 hours instead of 3,000. She fixes the mistake. This is one of the coordinators or something who be helping me run the process smoothly. Then overnight I got like 3, 4, 5 matches. I start swiping, first family, 3 kids. Now mind y'all, if you have 1 child or if you have 10 kids, you're gonna get the same amount of money as an au pair. Like they do not give a about how many kids you babysit. You're gonna get the same amount of money. You're gonna work the same hours. So I'm like, okay, 3 might be OD. Like mind you, I was 18 at the time. Like I had experience, but I'm like, I'm still 18. I'm literally just a girl. So long story short, this is not a long story short, it's actually a long ass fucking story. So I'm just gonna keep going. At this point, I was super desperate to find a family because I'm like, it's already September, like, I wanna go. This would be my dream since I was 12 years old. And then I ended up matching with a family whose profile was barely completed, who was just a fucking terrible, awful ass family. Yeah, long story short, I ended up picking them because I was like, that will work, that will work. 3 kids as well. But the third one was a teenager already, so I didn't need a babysitter. So there was a girl who at the time was, I think, 2 years old, and there was a baby who was 3 months old. I ended up having an interview with them, which I was super nervous about. I was like trying to write out my questions, plan out what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna respond to certain questions if they ask me those questions. Mind you, at this point, like right now, I've been learning English for over 2 decades. I've been learning English since I was 2 years old. Maybe you can't tell, maybe you're like, this bitch got an accent, but how many languages y'all speak? Because if you speak more than 1 language without an accent or without fucking up, then you can talk to me. Until then I don't want to hear nothing. So I had a Skype interview with them. The dad was not even there. It was just the mom and the kids screaming. So I'm like, sweet. But fast forward a couple more FaceTimes and a couple more email exchanges. Like, how is your day going? Yeah, good. Are you excited? Yeah, okay, cool, yay. What do you like to eat? What color do you like? Because then we're gonna paint your room. Bullshit. Because, like, cut the small talk. Like, just get to the point where you tell me that you ain't shit. Of course, you're not gonna mention that till I later have to find out about it. I'm already so excited for the next video. This video is gonna be up until the day of my flight to New York, because then that's just another story for another day. But so basically I ended up picking this family. All the regrets. I don't regret it in a way that, like, you know, like that was the first stepping stone for me basically to be here still 7.5 years later, which is fucking insane. I don't wish that family on my worst enemy. I don't think I spoke about how much money au pairs make, because Massachusetts now has a different law for au pairs, but at the time when I was an au pair, it was just like any other state. Au pairs are required to work up to 45 hours a week. At least once a month they have to have a full weekend off. Otherwise, every week they have to have 1.5 days in a row off. And we cannot work more than 10 hours a day. Now, au pairs make $195.75 a week, no matter how much you work. I think that comes out to be like $4.25, something like that. That's less than the minimum wage. That's a portion of the minimum wage. That's not giving, actually. But I'm like, you know, it's an exchange program. You're here to travel, to learn the language, to meet people from new cultures, to make friends, and a whole lot of other bullshit that is not really like that in reality at all. But so I don't know if I want to say anything else in this video. I have so much to say, y'all, but I still want to keep a structure to this video. And like after this one, it's gonna be more planned out. Like I know what the next video is gonna be about. I'm gonna be breaking it up into portions. I also don't want to make it a super long video as my first video, so I think I'm gonna just leave this at this. Feel free to leave any questions and comments below. I'm also gonna do a Q&A, so this way I know what is it that y'all wanna hear about regarding me being an au pair, moving to America, being from a different country and stuff like that. It's also my first video after like 3 years, so I'm like super nervous, and I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope y'all excited for the next videos. I'm really grateful for the support, because I know there's mad people on Instagram that be asking me like, hey, when is your next video dropping? And I'm like, yeah, the real ones. Again, thank you so much for watching.